Right, so you've had people that haven't done right to you, they've disrespected you, they've mocked you, they've laughed at you, they haven't treated you right, you know. They've played with your finances so you don't get work and all that, you know. Stop you maybe from getting promotions. Just finding a reason other than son, maybe not to give you what you deserve, you know. Right, so I mean, you suffered because of that, right? You voice your concerns about it. You know, making you out to be the bad guy. You know what I mean? There you are, the empress all the time, you know. You should have respect leadership, you know, rules. And the Ten of Cups, you know, that's you, that should be you. That's a real you. So, God has elevated you, you know what I mean? Because you've had all that, you've had been stabbed in the heart. So you've been delivered for those that did that to you, you know. You know, there was a tower, quite a few towers. Because to get you've had people in your bloodline who thought the worst about you, always cussing, yelling you out, abuse it, mistreat you. And it could have been your own siblings, you know what I mean? Your immediate family, people close to you. So I mean, you're not dealing with these people anymore. You're not dealing with all the foolishness, you know. You know, and you're moving forward. And there's a page of wands, you know. You're embarking in things new, you know, the page of wands. Moving forward with your life. Putting plans into place. You know, they need to pay up to what they've done to you and your childhood. You know, the secrets that were kept in that bloodline, you know. What it was done to you and said about you as a youngster when you were young, you know. You know. The Ace of Pentacles. So there was secrets against you and you were treated like you're the worst in your family, you know. Like the black sheep, you know, but you've got abundance, manifestation, opportunities. They kept a lot of stuff away from you, you know. And they wanted to play the role like you were the problem all the time, you know. By their actions. You know, abuse and mistreating you, you know. Leaving your parent could have been involved in it as well, you know. So whatever you've got coming now is going to bring great abundance, you know. But they're getting paid back. They're dealing with their actions, you know. Well, there's a Knight of Swords. You're on a mission. The Knight of Swords. So keep your energy flowing. Just keep your energy flowing. There's consequences. And there's consequences in your family bloodline. Because they were stirring the pot. They're treating you like you were the worst person in your family, you know what I mean? You know, there's been conflict, upheaval, disagreements, because they didn't want to see you make it, you see, they didn't want to see you make it. They talked about you, they gossiped about you. They didn't want to lend a hand in helping you. They really didn't want to lend a hand. But when they had problems, they wanted you to help them, you know. But they're paying up now for it because they didn't want to lend a hand to help. And so, but you've had an awakening, a demon. But any time you went around them, there was always toxic energy, mess, like you were to sit around here and take it for the rest of your life. Well, they got their reward for that, eh? And you've got new beginnings. They got their reward, okay? Okay, they've got their reward for that. You've got new beginnings. God saw everything that was done. People weren't treating us fair or right, okay? They could have been blessed. They could have seen that you overcame problems and stuff like that, no. But they didn't want you to get a little bit of success. They wanted to lie, steal and take from you. And that's what they wanted. They're paying up for it. So you're just going off and doing your own thing, they're paying up for it, you know. They wanted to see you in financial loss and lack, need, poverty, insecurity, fear, low self-esteem. That's what they wanted. Thought you were by yourself, you see, and you would be an easy target, you were gullible. That's what they thought, eh? Head over heart, wanted to use and abuse and take and mistreat, you know. It could have been love, relationships or anything. You gave your love, your heart and everything. Same as myself, that's what I give, you know, nothing. So anyway, we've got a 10 of Pentacles coming in now. You're blessed, okay? But there were some lessons you needed to learn, you know. You needed to know your worth, you know. Because you already knew your worth. But they didn't know your worth. The Empress. You're the Empress. Experiencing new life, you see. You did nothing to get mistreated like that. You did nothing to get mistreated like that. You just caused you a lot of trouble for nothing, for no reason, you know. They give you drama. They give you mess. They give you chaos. And they didn't think they were going to have to pay for that, you see. But God sees everything, but they're wrong, because God sees everything. And I wonder why you don't want to deal with them no more. Why you don't even bother, you know. And you've struggled because of that, you know. You've got the 9 of Cups. You've seen the true colours the first time, the second time, the third time, the fourth time even, you know what I mean? They've done it. You had to go from pillar to post, job to job, because of this. Not being treated fair. On to the point where you're stressing out, wondering how you're going to pay the bills, and everybody's just standing there laughing. No caring. They're paying for that. They're paying for that. Can I get a good person like you again, you know? They had you trying to get you in your demise, you know? You have your contentment. But they'll go through the same. They're going through it now. Trying to get rid of you see. That's your karma. They'll die in that job now, you know. They'll die in that job and they'll be miserable in that job. Same as what they tried to do to you. They'll be disappointed on that. We're walking away and leaving it. They'll get the same karma. They'll be feeling stagnant and they'll die. Because you should have got that promotion, not them, you see. You were the one that shouldn't have been fired, you see. They knew you were plotted against, you know. They knew behind closed doors you were plotted against, you see. And there's a Wheel of Fortune card, you see. A Wheel of Fortune. You may be taking the good with the bad right now. This is a cycle. You remember that no matter the outcome, the wheel always turns. and nothing lasts forever, so there's good luck, karma, turning point, change, ups and downs, fate, inevitable. There you go. So that was the message for today, okay? You were done unfair. For most of your life, with many people. You're no better, you're just better for it all, eh? But you don't need to deal with people like that anymore. There's certain people you don't need to deal with anymore. You know not to associate with certain people anymore, you know, because of what's been done to you throughout the course of your life, you know. So you can understand why you don't want to trust people, you know. Because they showed their backside behind time and time again, didn't they? Showed their backside time and time again, eh? You've been snaked, you've been plotted again, you've been lied on, you've been mistreated, abused for so long, okay? Throughout the course of your life, that's happened to you. So that's why you don't want, you're no better, you're just better for it, okay? And you know not to deal with people the same way, don't deal with them the same way. You know, you've been gaslit. They wore masks. You know, and you seen the mask coming off. You seen their mask coming off. You saw their mask coming off. You know, trying to make you feel as though you're nobody, you know. But you've got self-love and self-care, being happy, loving life. That's always been you. You've always loved life. You've always had self-love and self-care. You've looked after yourself. You've seen their masks. But just know that they're paying up for it, okay? Might have been some endings. Transition, reborn. Just know God's seen it all. They thought they were going to have you in a mental institution or something, you know. They thought wrong, pal. So you've had deception and lies, you know, you're shocking, you know, attacked, heartbroken, pain, you've been through it all, you know. You might have lost money and stuff behind the sneakiness, you know, because of the sneaks. You've lost money along the way, time, energy and money along the way because of their sneakiness, you know. But God's got all that, you know, He's seen it all. So I wouldn't even worry about it, you know what I mean? Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven. Don't even worry about that stuff. I mean, you might have been battling some things yourself, you know. You know, the whole time you were a child growing up. So that's like with a snake, you see. Charmed and used as well. Enable boundaries. Well, they wanted me down and out as well, and I wondered why I don't deal with them any here. Now I'm blessed, you see. And I'm blessed, you know. But I've had the same situation, so like you've went through that, I'm giving you knowledge about, you know. I mean, I've overcame a lot of those things as well, that stuff. Spiritual warfare things, you know. Things coming to light and healing, you see. That's why I don't play with people. I don't play with people like that, you know. Turmoil. not everybody's for you, you know, and I don't deal with too many people either, you know, because not everyone's for you, you know. And that's just the thing, not everyone is for you, you know. Anyway, that's it for today, the cards for today. So if you like my content, I've got links at the top of my page where you can donate. If you'd like to donate, it would be very much appreciated. The links are at the top of the page. You're on the Spill on the Beans channel, and thank you for listening. Thank you, bye.